My wife texted me one morning. I want a divorce, all contact through my lawyer. I froze the bank, cards, everything. 72 hours later, her lawyer had 99 missed calls on my phone. It was 7:38 a.m. when my phone buzzed. Just one message. No hi. No, we need to talk. Nothing soft. I want a divorce, all communication through my lawyer. I stared at it. Not because it shocked me, but because it was so cold, like a notice taped to a door before demolition. She didn't call. She didn't come home late to talk. Just a text. One line. That was it. I sat on the edge of our bed, the side she used to sleep on still faintly warm. Same bed we bought together from a discount outlet during our second year of marriage. I remember how she wanted the one with the headboard that matched our dog's fur. Now she was gone. The dog was gone too. She took him last week for a walk. Never came back. I didn't reply right away. Instead, I got up, brushed my teeth slowly, like I had all the time in the world. I let the numbness sit in the corners of my body. Then I replied, "Understood." And that was it. No fighting, no questions, no begging, just a cold, clean acknowledgement. Like I'd received a bill in the mail. After that, I opened my laptop. I logged into our joint bank accounts, removed her name. Then I went to the credit card portals, the ones she used for groceries, for gas, for her monthly spa appointments. Click, freeze, click, cancel, click, goodbye. Then came the car lease. In my name. Insurance. My name. Streaming services. My cards. Rent. Paid up. But I called the landlord and made sure her name was off the lease. She wanted space? I gave her miles. By noon, I had emailed our accountant and removed her as a secondary. By 2 p.m., I'd called my own lawyer. By 3 p.m., I poured myself a whiskey and sat down on the back porch. Birds chirped. Dogs barked 2 yards over. My world didn't collapse. It just fell quiet. That night, I cooked myself dinner for the first time in weeks. Scrambled eggs, toast, and silence. And for the first time in months, I slept like a man who didn't owe anyone anything. Next morning, 8:06 a.m., my bank app pinged. Declined transaction. She tried to buy something at a salon. $283. Then another alert. $60 boutique charge. Declined. Then $12.95 at a coffee shop. Declined. She was swiping plastic that no longer worked. Meanwhile, I was sipping black coffee and scrolling through emails. At 10:21 a.m., her lawyer called. 3 missed calls. Then a voicemail. I didn't listen. I didn't have to. I already knew the panic had started, and this was only the beginning. The voicemail started with a cough, then a calm voice. Too calm to be real. "Hi, this is Alan Jefferson, attorney representing Mrs. Richards. We've noticed some unexpected account disruptions. We'd like to discuss the financial impact and temporary reinstatement of access during proceedings. Please call back." I didn't call back, because there was nothing to discuss. She sent a message. I accepted. Now the consequences were following her home. I spent that afternoon at the gym. Long run, cold shower, empty locker room. And I swear, the quiet had never felt so honest. By evening, my phone buzzed again, this time from an unknown number, then again, then a message. "What the hell, Mark? You canceled everything?" I didn't answer. She made the rules. I was just playing by them now. 10 minutes later, another message. "You're being cruel." Cruel? Cruel was sending a text instead of looking me in the eye. Cruel was months of gaslighting. Pretending. Cold shoulders. Late-night whispers in the hallway. Cruel was draining someone emotionally, and then calling it growth. By the next morning, her lawyer had escalated. Now I had official documents, petitions, motions, claims for temporary spousal support. They listed everything: her expenses, her lifestyle, her expectations. And all of it relied on the very foundation she just tried to blow up. I forwarded the papers to my lawyer. He called me, half laughing. "She wants to keep the Range Rover," he said. "That's in your name." "Yeah," I replied. "She also wants yoga retreats and Whole Foods charges refunded." We laughed, and then we got to work. My lawyer was efficient, precise, and most of all, prepared. Turns out she never read the prenup, or maybe she assumed I'd be too sentimental to enforce it. But here's the thing, I was sentimental. Once. I held her when her mother passed. I supported her through 3 job changes. I stood by when her startup failed. But that version of me, the man who always showed up no matter how much it cost, she buried him the day she pressed send on that message. So now, I was just the executor of the ending she asked for. When we had our first hearing, she wore black. Her eyes were glassy, lips tight. She didn't look at me, maybe because deep down she knew. She didn't expect me to be this composed, this silent, this done. The judge asked standard questions. My lawyer answered cleanly. When her lawyer tried to bring up emotional distress, the judge stopped him. "Mrs. Richards initiated the separation, correct?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Then the financial restructuring is a natural consequence." Checkmate. Outside the courtroom, she finally came up to me. Voice low, eyes sharp. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" I looked at her, paused, then said, very calmly, "No, I'm surviving it." And I walked away. Not angry, not broken, just done. I didn't block her, I didn't text her, but I knew she was watching. Instagram? Private, but not to me. Her stories, still public, told me more than her words ever had. A glass of wine, a caption about healing, a quote about becoming. But healing doesn't come in hashtags. It comes when you face the mess you made. And she wasn't there yet. She was trying to rewrite the story before it was finished. One morning, I got a message from an old friend. Mutuals. "Hey man, just heard. Didn't know it was this messy. You doing okay?" I was. Because what people didn't realize was this. When someone walks out of your life with a slam, they leave the door open for light to come in. And for the first time in years, I could breathe. But that didn't stop her from trying to twist the ending. I got another email, not from her, from her lawyer. Client wishes to amicably revisit certain financial terms. Translation? The money had dried up. The friends she thought would rally behind her had slowly stepped back. Because drama burns bright, but it also burns bridges. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I opened my Photos app, scrolled back 3 years. There she was, laughing on our first road trip, that stupid green hoodie I hated. She looked innocent, hopeful. Then I jumped forward. 2 years later, her in a hotel mirror. New dress, red lipstick, glass in hand. Caption said, "Freedom." I remember that night. She told me she had a girls' dinner. But I found the receipt later. 2 entrees. A wine I didn't like. A hotel charge. I didn't ask. I let it go. Because I loved her. And because I wanted to believe people come back to love if you just love them enough. I was wrong. People don't come back. They just get better at leaving. A week later, I finally replied, "No changes. Everything proceeds as agreed." She didn't reply. But that night, I got a call. From a number I hadn't seen in months. It rang twice. Then voicemail. I played it. Silence at first. Then a deep breath. I didn't think you'd actually be this cold. I hit delete because I wasn't cold. I was cured. I signed the papers on a Wednesday. The weather was nothing special. Gray, humid, forgettable. But something about that day felt clean. My lawyer called me afterward. "That's it," he said. "You're officially free." I didn't celebrate, didn't pour a drink, didn't blast a song, no calls, no posts, just quiet, just a long walk home. I passed by a bakery we used to love, the one with the lopsided croissants and that old guy who always said bonjour even though he was from Ohio. I looked inside, and for the first time since all this started, I didn't feel anything. Not hate, not sadness, just stillness. Like my heart had finally taken off its coat and sat down. Later that week, I saw her. By accident. I was walking out of a hardware store with a new doorknob and some light bulbs. Stupid, everyday things. She was across the street, standing near her car. She looked smaller somehow. Hair tied back, phone in hand, eyes tired. She didn't see me. But I saw enough. You know how people say, "I wish them well"? I used to think that was just polite noise. But in that moment, I meant it. I didn't want her to suffer. I just didn't want to be the one carrying her anymore. And I wasn't. 2 months later, I moved. New apartment, smaller, but it felt more mine. There were no old toothbrushes to throw out, no sweaters that weren't mine, no leftovers labeled hers, just space. My kind of space. I started cooking again, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I burned the first omelet, cursed under my breath, laughed at myself. And that laugh, it was real. The first in a while. I took a trip solo, Colorado, rented a cabin, left my phone off for 3 days. On the second night, I built a fire and watched it burn until the stars came out. And I realized something. She had always called me too quiet. But the truth is, she never sat long enough to hear what my silence was saying. It wasn't weakness. It was patience. It was weight-bearing love. And when that love was no longer met, I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I just let go, not to hurt her, but to save myself. Now when people ask if I'm single, I smile. Not because I'm bitter, not because I'm wounded, but because I've tasted peace. And peace, my friend, is addictive. She once said I'd never survive without her. She was right. I didn't survive. I started living.